Hi, this is Bridget with Life on Spectrum, and today I'm going to talk to you about PBSP. You're thinking, what is that? Well, that's a positive behavioral support plan. These can actually be created for someone as young as 18 months old. However, I wanted to make sure you understand the difference between a positive behavioral support plan and a regular behavioral plan, because there is a huge difference. A positive behavior support plan has to be started by a school psychologist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist that your son or daughter is related to or associated with. It has to have statistical data, which is called a behavioral analysis. A lot of times they chart antecedent behaviors, which is what happens before the behavior happens. Then they chart how long the behavior happens, and then of course what happens after the behavior. The reason this is important is this data actually supplies the educators with an idea of why your son or daughter is having the behaviors that they have. But like I said, a positive behavior support plan cannot be done without a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So keep that in mind. The reason, like I said, that's important is because with that statistical data, behavioral goals and objectives will be created. And as they accomplish them, they also could possibly, if they don't accomplish them, I should say, there is a possibility that they could get a one-on-one aid or a paraeducator or those kind of situations that we talked about in a previous episode. So keep that in mind. If you are considering having that your son or daughter needs actual one-on-one help, this is one way of providing the data to back it up. It also creates a positive or reward system for them. Now, we could go back and forth if positive behavior reward systems is a good or a bad thing. But generally speaking, when you're trying to get rid of a quote-unquote bad or inappropriate behavior within the classroom, one of the best ways of doing it is literally showing them, especially with students on the spectrum. This could be easily done with the gold star chart like we used to use, but like I said, it's visual. They can see it. They like it. As they get older, you can actually use computer programs like a Google document or an Excel program so they can actually see and chart how their progress is happening. And with that becomes rewards. But remember, rewards should be sparing. You shouldn't give it to them every single time. It should be within like 3 days or 5 days or every 2 weeks. Just remember that when you're doing a positive behavioral support plan. Now, with that said, if you want that data, especially to get a one-to-one or a paraeducator to help your son or daughter, then you need to do the school psychologist. However, if you want to just have a behavioral goal, especially with emotional regulations, then a positive behavioral support plan is not necessary. Now, the reason I want to specify that is autistic support teachers tend to put emotion regulation goals on the IEP. That does not need a positive behavioral support plan. That is just trying to show your son or daughter the different emotions that they will run into through their common everyday socialization. So hopefully that clears up the difference between a positive behavioral support plan and having behavioral goals. There could be both, or it could be one or the other. So that's it for this episode of Positive Behavioral Support Plans, and I'm Bridget with Life on Spectrum. Thanks for watching that episode, and make sure you come back and join us again for upcoming videos. They'll be uploaded almost on a daily basis. Also, if you really enjoyed us, like us below, or even leave a comment for us to respond back to. And if for all of you that are really involved in the Life on Spectrum, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate you. We hope that this is worthwhile for you, and we'll see you next time on Life on Spectrum.